What's up? What's up, family? This is Juan J. Johnson coming to you with the Real Live broadcast, Real Talk broadcast. Coming to you live. Coming to you live. Start the watch party. We're going to get it in today. Start the watch party. We're going to talk. I'm not going to talk too long, but I'm going to say enough to try to bring some clarity to what's going on. Hopefully, give you another perspective. Give you another perspective. Okay? Again, so I am here. I am live. This is my first live feed, probably since this whole murder of George Floyd. This is my first live feed since the burning down of Minneapolis. This is my first live feed since the incarceration of one of the officers, Officer Derek Chauvin. I don't know why they didn't lock up the other two officers that was holding him down too. There was three officers holding him down. I don't know why the Asian officer was looking. But again, I'm going to share my perspective. I'm going to share my perspective. So again, start the watch parties. You know, if you want to reach me, just go to juanjohn29@gmail.com. That's juanjohn29@gmail.com. If you want to hit me in the DMs, you can. You know I am a nationwide certified firearms instructor. I come to your state, your county, your municipal, and teach you how to defend yourselves. Teach you how to be a responsible gun owner. We also do self-defense tactics. We do tactical shooting. So it's not just me. It's quite a few brothers that I'm teamed with to provide these services. Again, Gmail me. Again, juanjohn29@gmail.com. juanjohn29@gmail.com. Yes. So with that said, again, there's a lot going on, a lot in the news, and I want to be very precise. I want to be very direct. I want to be very accurate. I am unapologetic about the events that's taking place. I'll be reading some things, some quotes. But let me first off say this. One of the reasons why you're not going to see me going live about every atrocity that's being perpetrated against black people. I'm talking about foundational black Americans. I'm not talking about people of color. I'm not talking about minorities, because all these are code words. I'm talking about black, foundational black Americans who can trace their lineage back to Jim Crow slavery, the civil rights era, and those 257 something years of free slave labor from 1619 to 1865. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not playing that POC game. I'm not playing that people of color game, because there was a person of color on the scene of the murder of George Floyd, and that person of color was an Asian persuasion officer. Okay, I'm not playing that game. I am very, very clear that we don't have no alliances. We don't have no allies. Black people in America, foundational black Americans, do not have allies. We don't have allies, family. Let me be very clear with this. Peter Lang killed a brother in New York. He was Asian. Okay? I think I posted. Let me see, I just want to read a couple things. Posted about these allies that we don't, these fake allies that you think we have. We don't have no allies. All we got is each other. That's all we have is each other. Okay? So let me say this. I've posted, I changed my profile picture to a wolf, right? Because I've been telling the people, stop looking for a leader. Stop looking for the Black Panther Party. Stop looking for a Deacons of Defense. I've been telling you, be that leader. Be that lone wolf. Summons that lone wolf within. I've changed my profile picture on purpose, and I put in quotation, what is understood does not have to be spoken. What's understood does not have to be spoken. We know that we are at war. We know we've been at war. You can't be a foundational black American living in the 21st century, right? The 21st century. And still seeing 21st century high-tech lynchings. They've gone from stringing us up in the tree to just standing over top of us shooting us, to putting the knees in our throats and killing us. These are 21st century lynchings. 21st century lynchings, okay? Understand this, family. Understand this. You're not gonna see me do this knee jerk every time one of us get killed. I wanna have something to say. Because these are not, although they are isolated incidents, they're not isolated incidents. Whether it's Brother George Floyd, whether it's Ahmaud Arbery, whether it's Breonna Taylor. We haven't even dealt with Breonna Taylor out of Kentucky when the police did one of those no-knock warrants at her house and shot her dead in her bed, killed her, shot her 8 times. In her bed. She was asleep in her bed. And her boyfriend grabbed the gun and defended himself and her. They initially locked him up. Judge Olu let him go. And now they officially have dropped the charges against him. He had shot the police, shot at the police and shot one. See, we haven't even dealt with Breonna Taylor. These can't just be isolated incidents. These are attacks on the collective. They are attacks on the collective, family. Say this again. They are attacks on the collective family of foundational black Americans. Okay? So again, when you know you're at war, what do? I've been saying this. You do not consult ministers. You do not consult your pastor. You do not consult your elders, your bishops in times of war. Why? Because they are peacemakers. You get 2 types of leaders in times of war. Wartime leaders and peacetime leaders. Right now, we're at war. We're at war, family. We are at war. I've been saying this for years. I remember saying this back in May of maybe 2017 to start to arm yourselves. Arm yourselves to protect your family, your neighborhood, your friends, your culture. I've been telling you this. Matter of fact, I went a step further than told you this. I became a firearm instructor so I can teach you how to shoot, how to protect yourselves. I've been pushing this, pushing it, trying to encourage you. You need to defend yourself, defend your family. Okay? So again, this is when you're in a warrior's mindset right now, you recognize that you're going to have collateral damage, you're going to have casualties. People are going to die because they've declared war on us. They've always declared war on us. Just because we are coexisting does not mean that you haven't declared war on me. All your policies, your laws, LAWS, legally allowing white supremacy. That's what laws mean, family. LAWS, legally allowing white supremacy. Who are the ones who protect white supremacy? The police. They are the shields for white supremacy. And who are the people who enforce or who guard the system? It's the judges. The judges. Remember, slavery was legal for a long time under the Supreme Court. Slavery was legal under the Supreme Court. Jim Crow was legal under the Supreme Court. I'm not delusional. Not delusional. I'm not delusional. We have always been at war. And some of us, because we had these interracial relationships, and because we have some white friends, some white associates, we can't separate the two because, we believe, well, I got some white friends. So what? What does that mean? You got some white friends. Some of you got some white parents. So what? What does that mean you got some white parents? What does that mean that you have some white friends? You can't be honest with your white friends? You can't be honest and tell them that you're at war with the system of racism and white supremacy? You will not ever have to worry about me coming on live feeds, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and apologizing to anybody, especially WMD culture, or plead for their compassion or their empathy or sympathy. No, not this one. Not this one. No. I'm not pleading. I'm not begging for your understanding. Because I already understand. We are at war. And we've been at war. Again, what makes the native African American, the Negro, the colored boy, the colored girl, that's what they used to call us back then. Malcolm called us a so-called Negro. What makes foundational black Americans unique is this. We're the only group of people in this world who coexist with their oppressors' children. Coexist. Everybody else in the world are fighting. Think about that. The Palestinians are always fighting the Jews, the Israelis. Pakistan always fighting India. Japan right now is in the verbal talks against China because China said, we want you back. China, you belong to us. okay? North Korea, South Korea, okay? Croatia, Russia. Everybody's fighting but us. We're the only group of people who have showed the whole world how to coexist with your masters, with the children of the slave master. But with anything, family, everything has an expiration point. Say this again. Everything has an expiration date. Civil rights had an expiration date. Your bread has an expiration date. Your vegetables have an expiration date. Okay? So why do you think that us coexisting in a system that's designed to destroy us doesn't have an expiration date? Why would you think that? Why? Can't say, now, if you know me, I'm a wartime leader. Hood leadership, you crazy boy. So again, family, stop begging for white empathy and sympathy. Stop begging for some so-called alliances, allies. There are no allies. We don't have no allies. At least I'm honest enough to admit this. Again, let me pull up something. Let me pull up something. Let me talk about those riots, those looting. Before I say about the riots and looting, let me read something from the Secretary of Defense, 2003, that I posted on my page, Donald Rumsfeld, when he talked about when they went to Iraq and took down Saddam, and the people was rioting and looting. Let me read to you what Rumsfeld said, so you can get an idea of what's going on right now in present day America. So my response to those who have a problem with the rioting and looting: while no one condones looting, on the other hand, one can understand the pent-up feelings that may result from decades of repression in a people who have had members of their families killed by that regime. What regime? The police, the government, the system of white supremacy. Okay? And I don't think that there's anyone in any of those pictures who wouldn't accept it as part of a price of getting from, let me say this, and I don't think there's anyone in any of those pictures accept it as part of the price of getting from a reprise regime to freedom. So basically, Donald was saying this. I keep seeing people posting that King keeps saying that riots are the language of the unheard, right? Possibly. But Rumsfeld said this, the Secretary of Defense under the Bush administration. Just go check out my page. He stamped the riots. He stamped the looting. He gave it an okay. So watch this. I give the okay to the looting. I give the okay to the rebellion, to the revolt. You know why? Because I'm a black man in America. I can't change my color, nor would I even try to change my color. You will never see me bleach my skin to blend in. Any person, anybody who would bleach their skin just to fit in, you disrespect your mother and your father that gave you that glorious skin. And you mentally messed up in your head. Say this again. Anybody who would bleach their skin, you disrespect your mother and your father. And you're mentally crazy. And I mean that. So with that said, I wouldn't bleach my skin. I love this black skin. But I also know this. As a black man in America, my skin, unfortunately, makes me a target for destruction. A black male, every black male in America, your skin makes you a target for destruction. Okay, let's be very clear with this. Okay, so when I tell you and I remind you that we are at war with a system that wants to destroy black males, not just in America, but around the world. The system of racism, white supremacy are the same. And what is it? He who controls the resources, he who controls the resources, he who can tell you, the person who can take the food off your table, can affect whether you get a job or not, can affect your employment status, can decide whether you are hired or you're fired, can determine if you're going to eat tonight, can determine whether we're going to allow you to get married, can determine whether we're going to allow you to come and join the military, can determine whether we will allow you to become a police officer, can determine whether we will allow you to be a judge, can determine whether we allow you to be a teacher. A system that can control your livelihood, that's racism, white supremacy. That's racism, white supremacy. A system that can tell you whether we want you in the entertainment business or not. A system that can tell you whether we want you to be an educator. A system that affects entertainment, education, labor, law, politics, health, religion. Don't forget about religion. The system of white supremacy even controls religion. Your average seminarian graduate don't even talk about black economics. They don't. If you don't understand the system of racism and white supremacy, everything you think you understand will only confuse you. Get the book by Neely Fuller. Get the book, just type in Neely Fuller. Neely Fuller's book, The Code. Get Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's book, The Cress Theory. The Cress Theory of Confrontation. Get Amos Wilson's book. Amos Wilson's book. Amos Wilson's books. All things Amos Wilson. Get David Walker's book. I'm going to just say names. You just type it inside your cursory. Get David Walker's book. David Walker's book. Okay? Because you need to understand this. We are at this place in this junction right now in the 21st century because we failed to identify the enemy. And we playing with this thing, right? We want to play with this enemy. We want to play with the system of racism and white supremacy. And our children are the casualties in this war, because again, our children out there, I'm looking at them out there fighting this beast. They know something's wrong. They can't articulate what's wrong because we didn't pass down the stories to them, because we turned over our children to the system of racism and white supremacy for education. And what they got now, what we have now, is a generations of miseducated children. Say this again. We've got generations of miseducated children. They know something's wrong, but they can't articulate what's wrong because we thought by not telling them the truth about the system of racism and white supremacy, that we was protecting them, that we was shielding them. No, family. We have set our children up for termination, elimination, collateral damage. Facts. Let me say something. Because again, Dr. Clark said something that was so profound. He said, a people who will not remember their ancestors or will not respect their ancestors, their offspring won't respect them. And prior to COVID-19, we had a generation of black children just wilding out, no respect. Our mothers and our sisters and our elders couldn't even walk the streets at night or during the day for fear. Okay, people was leaving out of churches and couldn't even talk to folks on the corner because of fear. Again, a people who do not respect their ancestors, your offspring won't respect you. So now that we've had COVID-19, which made us all be in the house and relearning or unlearning or relearning our children, I'm saying that we're beginning to come together. We're beginning to come out this shell. We're beginning to conversate with one another. But we're still under attack. Every time a black male or black female step out their house, it's a possibility that you won't come back. It's a possibility that you will be confronted by a race soldier. It's a possibility that you may get locked up. It's a possibility that you may have to justify your existence as being innocent, just being innocent, just to justify your innocence. Okay? Family, family, family. If you've ever gone out, left this country, if you're black, and you've ever left America and went somewhere else, right? You felt something come off you. You felt relaxed, calm, cool, almost revived. Okay? But when you came back here, or when you got on that plane to come back here, suddenly you felt the pressure. You felt the anxiety. You felt, you put on your warrior, unbeknownst to you, you put on your fighting face. You put in your fighting mindset. You probably couldn't even articulate that you was at war. You've been at war. Anybody who's ever traveled outside this country and had to come back and you're black, you knew there was a heaviness that came on you. Why is that? Because in their system of racism, white supremacy, although it may appear to be invisible, it's real. It's very real. It's very, very real. So what I'm saying to you today is this. We're at war. Now look. Many of you know that I have did 20-something years of law enforcement. 20-something. Anything you give 10,000 hours to, you're a master. Say this again. If you've given 10,000 hours to anything, per se, you are somewhat a master on that subject. 10,000 hours is like 10 years, if you do the math. But if you did 20,000 hours, that's like 20 years. You a certified master. So when I come to you about this piece, about this racism, white supremacy, about this warrior piece, I'm speaking as a master, as a teacher. Let me rewind the tape. I'm ordained. Ordained. I can marry you. I've been having my license since probably 1998. 20 years. So I got 20 years in law enforcement, 20 years with the scriptures. I'm a double master. A double master. Why is that important? I'm glad you asked. Because I'm not that person who's telling you not to arm yourself. I'm telling you to arm yourself. I'm not that person who took the pension, who had the good job, who had a little fame, a little fortune, and decides now to turn his back on his people. See, the danger in success, or one of the dangers in becoming a judge or a lawyer or a police officer, is you're trying to protect, number one, your image, number two, your job, number three, your pension. But watch this. There's nothing more important to me than the survival of our children. And if I got to give my pension up, the fame and the fortune for the survival of my people, foundation Black Americans, is gone. It's done. See, most of us can't make that decision to protect our children, to protect the culture, at the expense of losing everything, even your life. Most of us are not willing to do that. No. I am. I have. I'm doing it. Okay? I'm doing that. So all my professionals on this feed, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a police officer, okay, whether you're a judge, because I know you on this feed, chiefs, captains, majors, lieutenants, officers, sergeants, you watch me, you listen, you're like Peter, following Jesus from a distance. You ain't saying nothing, you just watching. I see you. What's more important, your position Your position is more important than the survival of foundational Black Americans? Your position is more important than the culture? Really? Your pension, your nice pension is more important than the culture? Your nice car, your house is more important than the survival of the people? We're at war, family. And when you're at war, you may lose everything. I can't say everything I want to say in 1 or 2 hours. Because it's layers to this. It's layers to this. But you need to know this. Be not afraid. Say this again. Be not afraid. Let me say this again. Be not afraid. Let me say this again. Be not afraid. Because a lot of us are operating under fear. And fear has 2 components. Or it will either motivate you or it will paralyze you. And you got to ask the question, what is fear doing to you? Is it motivating you or is it paralyzing you? Fear motivates me. It makes me do what needs to be done. And I've been saying for the last couple of days, you know, what's understood does not have to be spoken. What's understood, Black man, Black woman, Black child, what's understood does not have to be spoken. You need to protect yourself. Period. You need a gun. I'm a gun man. So I'm not going to play around with this, tiptoe around it. You need to protect yourself. You need you need to protect yourself, family. Because we haven't even seen what's coming behind this. Don't get caught up in these killings, these assaults being isolated incidents. They are not isolated incidents. They are incidents that affects the whole collective. Okay. Think in terms of warfare and protecting yourself and protecting your family and protecting your community and protecting the culture. Okay? Please. So again, I'm not going to stay with you too much longer. I wanted just to say some things concerning this whole murder that took place, because you will not see me coming on social media addressing everybody who gets killed, because we're in a war, and I understand warfare. You're going to have collateral damage. Change how you see this. I may not never come back on social media after this one. I know the war that we're in, family. I know the war that we're in, family. Again, as I said, you don't consult ministers in times of war. They are peacetime people. They are peacetime leaders. In this country, when they're at war, they don't go to the ministers. No, they may go to a minister for some prayer, for victory, but you don't see the leadership calling on any minister, ask for strategies on how to protect the people. You call on soldiers. And like I said, I'm a hybrid. I'm a minister and I'm a soldier. And I know when to put one down and pick one up. Okay? So again, I'm gonna leave this thing right here. I'm gonna stop right here. I need you guys to be careful in these streets. Every time you step out that house, anticipate you just may have a confrontation. Do not provoke the situation. If you're pulled over, do not provoke the situation. Be calm, be cool, be courteous, be polite. Be calm, be cool, be courteous, and polite. Okay? If the situation escalates and you have to pretend and you have to protect yourself, then you defend yourself. You defend yourself. I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to be carried by 6. Okay? But every time you leave out your door, every time you leave your place, your residence, understand you're at war. Okay? And the further you are from the city sometimes, the more dangerous it is. In these rural areas, these back roads. Our white brethren has become very emboldened over the last couple of years. And they're taking more chances. We already know they have infiltrated every police department from Maine to California. Okay? But you, again, need to have a warrior's mentality, a warrior spirit, a David Walker who influenced a Nat Turner who influenced a Harriet Tubman who influenced a Marcus Garvey and a Malcolm X, a Fannie Lou Hamer, and Ida B. Wells. All these I named was about that business of what? Protected themselves at all times. So if you don't have a shotgun, you go get you a shotgun. You don't have a rifle, you go get you a rifle. You don't have a handgun, you go find you a handgun. Legitimate handgun, if anything. And get you some training on that too. But understand, family, you're at war, you're at war, you're at war. And for you mothers, for the women who have born males, who wonder every day, am I going to hear about my child coming up dead, being assaulted? I pray for you. Because your son, your male sons, were or supposed to be the warriors, the warrior class, the soldiers. Called the young because they're strong, and the old because we know the way. We've shielded our sons. We've mothered our sons to the point where they're so emotional now, they don't know what to do with themselves. They haven't seen a lot of that masculine energy. Okay? So just remember this, family. Just know this. Just know this. There are some brothers out here who are going to defend the sisters, who are going to train you sisters and brothers. Like I say sisters now because now a lot of our households are female driven, female led, but you're unprotected. And we depended on this government to defend us. But as you can see, nobody's defending us. Nobody. So when nobody defends us, we must defend ourselves. You have my information. JuanJohn29@gmail.com. JuanJohn29@gmail.com. You have my information. And you have access to the people who I know that can make you a better, stronger, precise shooter. Or somebody's going to defend themselves. See, because we need more brothers talking like this. We don't have the luxury right now to be wondering what we're going to do next. What we're going to do next? We defend ourselves. So we should do a Zoom speaking. Okay. So again, family, it's so much that I would like to say, and I can't cover it all in this one session. But I want you to take away from me that we are at war with the system of racism and white supremacy. And the system that's not like our children, that's not like us. And your skin is what condemns you. And as you can see, what's the Cash App? My Cash App would be, my God, JUANJ29. My Cash App is JUANJ2, or $JUANJ29. If you want to support. $JUANJ29. Again, family, look, I'm gonna do what I can to protect our people. Okay? Because again, we don't have no allies. We're on our own. Watch this. Where are the flags on social media from other countries saying support foundational Black Americans? Where are the hashtags? Where's the support from Europe, Great Britain, France, Africa, Brazil, the Caribbean, West Indies? We've had a stream. We've had 3 very high-profile executions. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and now we've had George Floyd. Very high-profile. The nation knows, and the world knows, right? We're in support for you. Where is this Asian liaison support? Where is this Latino support? Where is it? Can somebody tell me where it's at? They will create hashtags for everybody but us. When I tell you we are on our own, we are on our own. We have no support. We don't have no allies. And I would just say the politicians have turned, our Black politicians need to all be kicked out. All of them. Need new leadership, new blood, new vision. Watch this. If you say you subscribe to the scriptures, right, and the scripture says, without a vision, the people perish, right? Well, guess what? COVID-19 hit so hard, it decimated the black community, right? I mean, we have not seen the results from this tsunami yet. We have not seen the results from this tsunami, this economic tsunami that hit us. But we see the carnage. We see the carnage. We see that we haven't had vision in our community in decades. What's that? Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, and the list. Again, family, we can't look at the Eric Gardners, the Trayvon Martins, the George Floyds, the Sandra Blands. We cannot continue to look at these killings as separate, isolated incidents. That's what they want. You must see this as an attack on the collective. On the collective. It's an attack on the collective. Okay? I summons that lone wolf in each and every person under the sound of my voice. I summons that warrior, that lone wolf that's in you. That you don't have to go look for another Malcolm or Martin. We don't need another Malcolm or Martin. You be the Malcolm or Martin. You be it. And let me put some context to what I'm saying. To all those who read the Torah, to all those who read the Quran, to all those who read the Old Testament, the Bible. When Moses died, Joshua stepped up and got them to the promised land, right? When Joshua died, the people asked the question, who's going to go before us now? Like we're doing right now in the 21st century. Who going to lead us? Who's going to be the next Martin or Malcolm? But Elohim, Jehovah, gave them a principle. Said, send Judah first. Send Judah, the fighters. Send the whole congregation. Send everybody out there to fight. We're not looking for no more one person. We all lone wolves. We all fighters. We all fighters. If I teach you and train you, I'm training you to teach somebody else and train them. I'm teaching you to fight and show someone else how to fight. That's what I'm doing. Send Judah first. Judah was a principal. If you can't find a leader, you go. You fight. And know that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Because guess what? I was talking to a sister on the phone today. Concerned sister. A mother. Because mothers are concerned for their sons. And we've mothered our sons to the point where the warrior spirit has been somewhat suffocated. Or the insurrection spirit has been suffocated. Not through the mothering per se, but there's many reasons why the insurrection spirit has been quenched in us. Actually, Frederick Douglass says these holidays quench the insurrection spirit. Constantly in a celebration mode, it keeps you from being focused on what needs to be done. That's why I stopped the holidays. I stopped the holidays years ago. I've stopped doing holidays. I don't recognize them because we have a bigger issue. What is that? The survival of this collective. It's about survival, family. But as I was saying about the the sister I talked to about, you know, her and the son, you know, she's a mother. She doesn't want no hurt or harm to come to her babies. I keep getting phone calls right now. That all our children are gifts to the world. Not just gifts to you, they're gifts to the world. Eventually, you have to release the gift. You have to release the gift. Either you're raising the gift or you're raising the tyrant. Okay? So, I'm going to leave that right there. Again, I don't know when I'm going to come back on social media. Because again, I'm not going to be responding to every death because it's not going to stop right here. Yes, they locked up one of the suspects in that death. They should have locked up 3 people now. They should have locked up 4 of them. And they said what third-degree manslaughter and third-degree murder. Well, I already know he's gonna get off because manslaughter is they can't charge him with murder because he can't. If he said he didn't intend to do it, he intended. I mean, it's about intent. It's about criminal intent. You know, was it premeditated? Murder is premeditated. You can't get to this man's mind. You can't get into his head and say there was premeditation for him. You don't know. You don't know, and nobody can actually say it was premeditated. That's why they charged him with manslaughter or third-degree murder, because murders and talks about intent. Now I know what we saw on the video, but you don't know what was going on in his head. You don't. We don't. Okay? So again, I hope I said something. I hope I brought some clarity. I hope that I enlightened you. I hope I educated you. And I hope you know how I stand about my people and where I stand on this issue. And you're not going to see me out here looking for, again, we don't have no alliances. I want to drive that home. Stop looking for something that's not there. We don't have no alliances. We don't have no friends. Get that in your head. As a collective, we on our own. We own our own family. Okay? So with that said, share this, repost it. Go to my YouTube and subscribe. And know this. You need some training. Inbox me. You got my number, you give me a call. And we will make sure that you get what you need to protect yourself, protect your household, to protect your community, but most of all, protect the culture from foreign and domestic enemies. Because watch this, at the end of the day, I am foundational Black American. I'm not going back to Africa. I don't know what's I'll go visit. But the soil, the blood, my ancestors is here. And for all those who want to run and hide, go ahead and run and hide. I fight. We fight. We've been fighting. We're going to keep on fighting. We fight the system here, and if foreigners come, if China wants to declare war on us, or if Russia wants to declare war on us, we fight them too. At the end of the day, this is our home. When this country, when the soil speaks before it says a word, it coughs up our blood, my ancestors' blood. So nah, I ain't going to Africa. I may visit, but I'm not. I may move there and just buy some property out there, but I'm fighting here. I live here. And all those time, oh, let's go back to Africa. You go back to Africa. I was not going back. Go back to what? Hell, that's another topic right there. What I mean, let me say this about it. That's another topic. That's another topic. Okay, so with that said, we fight, family. We fight. We summons the wolf. We summons the lone wolf in us. That wolf. We ain't looking for no leaders. You be the leader. We ain't looking for the Black Panther Party. You be the party. We fight. We fight. We fight. So put on your warrior's outfit, your warrior's mindset. They got fires and they got clashes in Louisville now. They got clashes in Kentucky. They got clashes going on in D.C. They got clashes in L.A. You know, Malcolm said, you know, a racial powder keg is worse than a nuclear powder keg, a nuclear war, a nuclear bomb. COVID-19 can't touch a racial powder keg. And we stand at the precipice of a racial powder keg. So again, some was the energy, some was the strength to fight. You know, look here. I was proud to see them warriors out there. I was proud to see youngins out there standing up. You know, and I might have to deal with that later on. I might have to deal with that whole Generation X, the millenniums, because that silent generation. When I say silent, that generation from 1928 to 1945, they were silent. The baby boomers from 46 to 64, they didn't pass down the legacy of fight to us. It wasn't passed down. Okay? So with that said, I'm out. I want to thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to me. The details about if you want to make a donation, it's in the feed. Juan John $JUAN J29 on the Cash App. Because when I continue to come back and tell you what we need to do, we have to develop supply lines for ourselves. We need supply lines. When I say supply lines, I mean we about to get hit real hard economically. And you may have enough food in your closet or in your cupboards, but when it goes down, where you gonna go? So we need to start thinking supply lines right now for the babies, for the elders. Find something worth living for now, or find something worth dying for. Okay? So with that said, I thank you for showing up. I pray nothing but God's blessings and God's peace be upon you. Yes, I'm a peacemaker, but I'm a man of war. I'm a man of valor. I'm a man of confidence. Like the angel told Gideon, thou mighty man of valor. That's what I am. And that's what you are, if you're listening to me. And if you meet male or female, if you understand my voice, you're a mighty woman or a mighty man of valor. That's what you are. So we fight. We fight. We fight. And we support our young. And we support our young. And with that said, again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate. You could be somewhere else, but you listen to me. I don't take it for granted you take out your day to listen to me. Because everybody's is vying for a spot in your head, but you took the time out to listen to me. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, I appreciate, and I'm your humble servant who has nothing but love for our people. I love everybody, but I got a special love for foundational Black Americans. So with that said, thank you again, and always remember this. It is not how much you know, it's how much you care. I'm out.